Hey guys, welcome back to Channel Name Pending. I'm Manny, and today we are reacting to Dune 2021. This is my first movie reaction on the channel, and I'm glad it's for this one because I've been looking forward to seeing it for a long time. I have read the book Dune by Frank Herbert. In fact, I have my really old copy right here. However, I've only read the first book, so anything beyond that I'm not familiar with. I know there are several more books in the series, and after finishing this, I might very well continue them. This film came out 3 years ago, but for some reason, despite the hype, I just never got around to seeing it. But now that part 2 is out, I am watching part 1 in preparation for it, because part 2 drops on streaming tomorrow, and I do want to react to that as well, so you can expect to see that very soon. If you've read Dune, you know that it would be extremely difficult to translate the film, and so I am very interested to see what they do with it here. However, Denis Villeneuve, who directed this, is also responsible for films such as Sicario, Blade Runner 2049, Arrival, and Prisoners, so I have no doubt it'll be a work of art. As far as actual content, I'm almost completely unspoiled for this beyond having actually read the book. I didn't see any trailers, very little promotion. Literally all I know is that Timothée Chalamet and Zendaya are in it. Timothée obviously playing Paul, since he's the first face you see whenever you see anything about this movie. And I can only assume Zendaya is playing Chani. That is my best guess, but I could be wrong. I also don't know how much of the book this movie will cover. Since there's a part 2, obviously I'm assuming it won't cover the whole book. There are 3 parts, main parts in the original Dune novels, so there could be a film for each part, but I have no idea. So we'll see by the end of this movie how much of the story it actually manages to cover, and then we can continue assuming or guessing from there. But yeah, looking forward to it. Not much else to say. Before we continue, please consider subscribing to the channel. We would love to have you, especially if you're interested in seeing my reaction to Dune Part 2, which I will be recording as soon as it drops to streaming. And without further ado, let's get into it.
My planet Arrakis is so beautiful when the sun is low.
Soundtrack is already amazing.
The spice harvester's land.
Oh shit.
The outside.
Blue eyes. Yeah, these are Fremen. Dave Bautista? Oh my god, it already looks so amazing. Ooh, the way he just bursts out of the sand.
Why did the Emperor choose this path? And who will our next oppressors be?
I wonder if Chani... I'm almost certain that's Chani now. It will be... Paul. I wonder if she'll be the main narrator. I do wonder who Dave Bautista could be playing. Caladan. It's always so surreal whenever you've read a book and you're watching its adaptation and seeing.
Once you're in full dress before the Emperor's herald arrives.
Oh,
Dress. Military?
is that Rebecca Ferguson as Jessica?
Why do we have to go through all this when it's already been decided?
Ceremony?
That's a good choice, honestly.
Give me the water.
The glass can't hear you command me.
I'm wondering if they'll add any specific effect to the voice whenever they use it.
Give me the water.
Ooh. Okay, that's amazing.
Almost.
Hmm.
More dreams?
She's a fully fledged Bene Gesserit too, so for a novice like Paul.
The Fremen, spice is the sacred hallucinogen, which preserves life and brings enormous health benefits.
Looks like paprika. From the look of the spacecraft, you can really see like the Denis Villeneuve inspiration. If you've seen Arrival, it's a very sort of similar vibe. Oh my gosh, the costume design. It really does feel otherworldly. Ooh, Oscar Isaac. Is he the Duke? Oscar Isaac is Duke Leto.
Smile, Gurney.
John Brolin. Josh Brolin.
3 guild navigators, a total of 1.46 million 62.
Is this a mentat? See, I don't know any of the cast, so I'm like gonna be surprised at every big name I see.
Do you accept?
Oscar Isaac as the Duke is an inspired choice. I love it. Same with Josh Brolin as Halleck. It's been a minute. Is that the Reverend Mother, perchance?
It's done.
The costume designs are it's something I can very much see like being developed in a far distant future. And the look of the spacecrafts. I love it.
Got it.
Duncan.
Duncan, Idaho.
So you're going to Arrakis tomorrow.
Who's playing you?
The advanced team.
I'm going to Arrakis tomorrow with the advanced team.
Jason Momoa.
Saw you lying dead.
Ooh.
Fallen in battle.
It's a crazy thing to tell someone just casually.
See you in Arrakis, my boy.
Timothée Chalamet as Paul is a good choice too. He's not my favorite actor by any means. I know he's gotten a lot of hype recently and a lot of exposure, but I have yet to see him really shine. So if any role is gonna do it, it would be Paul.
On Arrakis, we need to cultivate desert power.
Yep.
Not what? The future of House Atreides.
They're doing a decent job of speedrunning this exposition, because there is so much lore that needs to be dropped early on for the rest of the story to flow cohesively.
Give it a try.
I like the look of this graveyard too. And I can almost sort of even see the resemblance between Paul and Duke Leto.
Duncan, Idaho gone. I must make do as best I can.
In the book, Gurney Halleck is like really ugly from what I can remember. So, ooh, the shield? Interesting.
Come on. Come on.
Oh, man.
Ooh, that's trippy.
Ah, the slow blade penetrates the...
The shield almost makes him look like hologram.
Come on!
As I was saying, Gurney Halleck in the books is supposed to be pretty ugly. So the casting of Josh Brolin, who's a pretty good-looking dude, is interesting.
I have you.
Aye. But look down, my lord. You're to join me in death.
Classic. Oh, that's actually right from the book.
You never met Harkonnens before. I have. They're not human. They're brutal. You have to be ready.
Can already feel their hatred for Harkonnens. Timothée Chalamet is also really tall. I don't remember him being that tall. To see him at Josh Brolin's, or even taller than Josh Brolin, that's crazy. I want to see the look they mock up for the Baron. I'm assuming this is not the Baron. Okay.
Rabba.
Oh, Raban. Okay.
Arrakis.
That makes sense.
Very good.
Wait a second. I know that voice.
How can the Emperor take everything we've built
Oof.
and give it to that Duke?
Don't be too sure it's an act of love.
Oh my gosh. That guy. He was in Dark Knight, Suicide Squad. That's Stellan Skarsgård, I think.
When as a gift, not a gift.
Yes.
A dangerous, jealous man.
Ugh. Oh my god, the makeup is amazing. I'm assuming that other guy was the Mentat. Peter, I think? Peter? The Baron is horrifying. Oh my gosh. I love the soundtrack already. Paul always sleeps on his stomach, hey? Ooh. I love all the visions of Chani he's seeing. I think in the book he only saw like one dream of her, but it seems to be almost recurring here. What is that? Was he meeting Reverend Mother? Perchance?
Why is Dr. Yue here?
He only needs a moment.
Is that Yue?
Hello, young master. Your mother asked me to check your vitals.
For some reason I expected the diamond to be more like embedded in their skin, but it looks like a tattoo instead. Oh my. Timothy's so tall.
Come here. Kneel.
Oh my god. I love what they're doing with the voice. Ooh, is this the first early hint we might get of... Actually, I don't know if she would be pregnant yet. I would assume so. Or she's just like... feeling... or relating to Paul, because she also went through this.
Is the little death that brings obliteration.
Fear is a mind killer. So many great quotes from Dune. So defiant. Timothy does get across Paul's natural, unscathed, natural, sort of defiant air about it.
Goodbye, young human. I hope you live.
That's one way to depart. I'm gonna start using that now. Goodbye, human.
You chose to train him in the way, in defiance of our rule. He wields our power. He had to be tested to the limits.
Oh, yeah, because he's male.
Potential wasted in a male.
They wanted a... What I don't know and what I don't think was ever explained was how they can control what gender the baby is gonna be. Ooh. Kinda wish I saw this in theaters now. Because that sound crashing into you at all angles would have been crazy. The Atreides drip is immaculate. I want Paul's fit. Oh god. Oh, that doesn't look good. It looks great visually, but for him. Ooh. It be your own people, bro. Oh my god. The scale of that. It's great because with the desert, it's almost giving like Mad Max Fury Road vibes. Just a giant scale, the music, the destruction. Oh fuck. Yeah, how insane this would have been to see in a theater. I hope they re-release it someday, because I would love to see this on like an IMAX screen. Especially with this soundtrack and those visuals. Oh boy. Oh, I love a good armies charging at each other scene. The Atreides seem to have very little armor. I guess they have their shields, yeah. But against Sardaukar? And in the books, they're supposed to be like Harkonnens, or Sardaukar is disguised as Harkonnens. I love the battle formation. Obviously it didn't work, but freaking Yue, bro. I think he, not single-handedly, but was essentially responsible for the fall of the Atreides house. I'm so happy for Dave Bautista that he's getting all these great roles. Oh, I want to see him kick ass. Let's go. And he doesn't even have a shield. Or does he? Oh, he does. Never mind. Nice wire work. Dude, the Sardaukar sound like orcs. Even their language sounds like black speech. That's a Lord of the Rings reference, for those of you who aren't familiar. Oh my... Shit. That's like napalm. Or whatever this Dune universe's equivalent of napalm is. They just backed off. Dude, the visual effects department's going crazy. Such a visual feast. I'm so sad I didn't get to see this in theaters. I assume that's...
You? Benny Gesserit ain't on highborn. She's highborn enough for me.
Yeah.
Lead the kid to the world. I give her a long goodbye.
Don't you dare touch my mother.
Don't talk.
Somehow them speaking English is just as bad as them speaking Sardaukar.
Remove her gag.
Shut up.
The voice is such a sick power, dude. And it sounds so cool. I never imagined it sounding like that.
Remove her gag.
Oh.
Kill him! Set her free!
Oh, it sounds like demonic. I don't remember if he was described like that.
Cut the rope! Give me the knife!
That's so fucking cool, dude.
Your pitch was too forced.
Even in a life or death situation, moms are gonna mom. This is definitely happening a lot sooner than I thought it would. That's tough. Yeah, that's gotta hurt. Oh, that's a long table. I don't know how you expected him to use a tooth at that length. Ew. Yeah, he's always eating, isn't he? I don't like the way he floats. I assume it's because he's just too huge to carry his own weight. Or are those the suspenders? Is that what they're supposed to do? See, I didn't picture that. I don't know why I always pictured like actual suspenders.
Sojourner.
Oh.
What do you think?
I thought it was just the throat he took off the head. Oh, here's a good time to use it. a lot more gas than I expected. Went out like a badass though. Oh, she sensed it. Damn. R.I.P. Pitter. I barely knew you. I don't even think we heard his name in this. Oh, fuck that. It always pissed me off how the Baron survived. I know he had to for the sake of the story, but fucking... It felt so shitty that Leto gave his life to kill him and it didn't matter. Zendeya with blue eyes is mesmerizing. Oh. Oh, you can see them like bursting out of the sand. Oh my gosh. This has to be CGI because those movements are too fluid, but it looks so cool. Oh! I thought those are just Fremen against random Harkonnens, but... That's the future. I want to be there right now. Those battle suits.
It's coming. It's the unholy war spreading across the universe like unquenchable fire. A warrior religion that waves the Atreides path.
The Jihad.
Fanatical legions worshipping at the shrine of my father's skull. A war in my name. Paul Atreides.
Not Paul Atreides.
You are my son. You are the Duke. Paul Atreides.
Yeah, he's a duke now.
Get off me! You did this to me! You Bene Gesserit made me a freak!
No, you didn't meet that. Man, the Jessica and Paul relationship is such an interesting one.
My father's dead.
In the book, for a time, he compartmentalizes and doesn't allow himself to grieve over his dad's death until it finally releases, and he just breaks down. Oh my god, that's the cutest thing I've ever seen. I hope this mouse doesn't die. Man, respect to the Fremen, but the desert does not seem like a pleasant place to live. Oh shit. Oh.
My lady. Paul. My Lord Duke.
I don't remember them meeting up with Duncan, Idaho.
Here. Drink this.
Or Kynes, because Kynes dies. So this is a change, I believe. I could be wrong, though. Feel free to correct me.
Tanak, will you find still suits to fit our visitors?
Yes, Liet.
Shamir, coffee service, please.
Of course, Liet.
Wait, never mind, I do remember this.
Who are you to the Fremen?
Okay, my bad. I met up with Kynes at least. I don't remember if Duncan was there, but I do remember them meeting Kynes and Kynes explaining all of that. At least I think.
And the Emperor has no sons, and his daughters are yet to marry.
Oh.
You'd make a play for the throne. The Emperor feared the Atreides. He brought you here to kill you. What don't you understand?
That's another thing. He eventually weds Irulan, and we see passages from Irulan throughout the book. My god, I love the way the Fremen uses sand as cover and to surprise attack. But yeah, Princess Irulan is a very important character throughout the book that we never actually meet until the end, but you get like excerpts from her throughout, so that when you do meet her, you're already familiar-ish, but so it's kind of a shame that that's lost in the live action, understandably, but that's one thing about adaptations and translating to visual medium. Like, there are things that inevitably are lost. Elements. Oh!
Sarkar! No! Duncan! No! Duncan, no!
Oh god.
Duncan, no!
This is the great last stand if there ever was one. I want to see bodies, like a whole pile of bodies, and him just, even if he's dead, just... That's one thing that was so sad, that you get introduced to all these great characters and 90% of them die before the second half of the book. Oh my god, let's go! That was a sick battle cry. The way he just rose up. It was a very Boromir-esque last stand. But do you see how many he took down before he succumbed?
The desert's my home. Good luck.
Good luck.
Okay, I definitely messed up. I do remember this. Wormstein. Oh my gosh. Is she gonna write it? But even though all those characters died before we even really got to know them, it is really cool seeing like a mother and son survival story like this. I feel like just watching this I want to cough. There's so much sand floating everywhere. Yes! Oh my god, I want to see this so badly. I want to see this so fucking badly. Because I was wondering if we were actually... if we had time to see the worms in this film, but... It's so cool seeing, like, things you've only ever had to imagine. Art thou kidding me? Come on, man. I hope these guys get eaten by worms. A very badass way to go out. And both her and Duncan just going out like total badasses. Okay. Probably not gonna see an actual writing of a worm until the next movie. Which is fine because I'm seeing it very soon. Oh yeah, the sandstorm, and then they think they die in the sandstorm. It really feels like I'm watching like the spiritual successor to Mad Max Fury Road, even though Dune would have come before, but at least film-wise. Man, even after surviving the whiplash, it'd be insane. You need physiotherapy for the rest of your life. Also, what is happening here? Oh, interesting. Ew. Ew. No. Gross. Awful.
Word to Katie Prime.
Go away.
But slowly.
Actually, kind of.
Don't let the prize to fall.
Actually, kind of want to know what it feels like.
And the vermin.
Kill them all.
That was so gross. Interesting how we've met Robin, but we haven't met well, his other nephew. If you know, you know. Imagine watching this in like 4DX. I have to imagine sand would actually make it a softer landing. Maybe? I'm not a physicist. This is really nice, because when you're reading the book, and all you can imagine is just flat, empty desert, it's nice to have a visual representation of what these environments actually look like. These, like, rock masses and...
Even a little desert mouse can survive. You'll need to face your fears.
I have to imagine they gave her this much more screen time compared to the book where she only had one future vision before he actually met her. But I have to imagine they're giving her so much more screen time in this because she's Zendaya. Because it's like it's over 2 hours into the movie now, and you haven't actually met this mysterious girl yet. But if you watch trailers, you know Zendaya's in this, so they gotta show her. Like, you knew nothing about Dune, and you watched this movie because you knew Zendaya was gonna be in it. You'd probably be disappointed. But she'll have a much bigger role in the second movie.
It's close by.
I love that even though it's a desert, the environment and the landscape is still so volatile. Like, it shifts and moves, and it can be so unpredictable. Oh god.
Run!
I don't think you can outrun a sandworm. See, like, even that, look how the ground is vibrating at its approach. That's so cool. Oh, that's smart. Oh god. That's amazing. And this one doesn't even look as big as the other one. Yet another thing I wish I had seen in a theater. Of all the things in this movie, the sandworm looks exactly like I imagined it from the book. Oh, that's actually really creepy, how they make no noise.
You help us off-world to Caladan, you will be well rewarded.
What wealth can you offer beyond the water in your flesh?
What wealth can you offer beyond water in your flesh? What a line.
But the
Oh, you'll do more than learn your ways.
Trained and too old to learn.
Oh yeah, he doesn't know she's been a Jesuit yet.
Back, you dogs. She'll cut my throat.
That took no time at all.
I would not have let you hurt my friends.
That must be trippy for Paul after seeing her so much in his mind and actually meeting her in person. And she'd have no idea.
A gift. A gift. Give it to me.
I already don't like Jamis.
You will have your own molar pistol when you've earned it.
I can't wait till Paul kicks his ass. The movie might end before we get there, though.
I accept her, champion.
Crazy to think that if Jessica fought him, it would have been an even shorter fight. Oh! Okay, I think this might be our end scene then, this fight scene between Paul and Jamis.
This will be a great honor for you to die holding it.
She's this confident he'll die, then she's in for a surprise.
Jonas is a good fighter. He won't let you suffer.
Chani.
I think Chani tells him, like, gives him a hint as to how to beat him, like something about Jamis's fighting style.
You're right.
I wonder if they'll keep it. It seems not. I love how the music cut out. So we're just getting the sound of the impacts and the fight.
There's no yielding under the Amtal rule. Only death is the test of the... Is he toying with him?
Paul has never killed a man.
Very visceral choreography. The Fremen are so fierce. Yeah, that's it for you, Jamis. He's invoking the... Yeah. Yeah, it was over for Jamis as soon as Paul started tapping into that inner muad'dib.
The Emperor sent us to this place. My road leads into the desert. I can see it.
Damn.
If you'll have us.
Literally, he can see it. I don't know if I remember Jessica being so eager to get off world in the book. Oh my god, that's a fast one. Oh!
Desert power.
This is only the beginning.
What a way to end. With the epic soundtrack booming in your ears. Is this it? That's it. Ooh. That was Dune Part 1. It's always a treat seeing a written work be brought to life, especially when it's done well. And this was done very, very well. Especially because it's Dune, and if you've read Dune, you know that it's a very common opinion that this book would be extremely difficult, if not impossible, to convert to visual media correctly. But they said the same thing about Lord of the Rings, and we ended up getting one of the best movie trilogies of all time. I felt with this movie what I imagine most Lord of the Rings readers would have felt seeing Fellowship of the Ring in theaters for the first time. Dune itself is often compared to Lord of the Rings, and referred to as the Lord of the Rings of sci-fi, even though in my opinion it has way too many fantasy elements to be called strictly sci-fi. But as far as adaptations go, this was incredible. There was a lot left out though, and I'll get to that first. The novel is very dense information-wise, especially in the first half, obviously because there's a lot of important lore that the reader needs to be familiar with to make the events to come make sense. But as a new reader, it can be very difficult to keep up with the massive amounts of, world building being thrown at you. Obviously, with adaptations, it's impossible to get every single detail across, and you have to forgive the filmmakers for leaving things out that you'd have liked to see otherwise. But if there's one thing I felt was not conveyed as properly as it should have, it was the importance of water. Even from early on in the book, you're hammered over the head with the theme of water and how it represents life, how sacred it is to the people of Arrakis. And in the film, I really thought that they were going to lean into that more, but they didn't. I feel like they instead were trying to achieve that message more through the subtext and the visual language than outright telling the viewer. Like, for example, Paul's conversation with the gardener about trees, almost as if the film is trusting the audience to infer these details for themselves, which in a way is nice when a film respects a viewer's intelligence. But even as a book reader who already knew how important water was and didn't need it told to me, I felt like something was missing. However, there is a fact that the majority of this movie was spent with the Atreides people, who are newcomers to Arrakis and don't yet fully understand how significant water is to the Fremen. You're watching this from their point of view, so you don't fully understand either. But now that we've joined the Fremen, and we'll be spending the entire next movie with them, I can definitely see the theme of water being a much bigger deal in part 2. Hopefully that's what's happening here. There's also a dinner scene in the book that didn't get included in the film. In it, the Atreides family have a sort of housewarming / dinner in order to introduce themselves and get to know the various people of Arrakis. And despite consisting of mostly dialogue, it's a very intense scene full of tension. You get a very in-depth look at the politics of everything and where everyone stands with this very new situation. This movie was 2.5 hours long, and I definitely think they could have included it, especially if they wanted the viewer to have a better understanding of the characters and their dynamics. And the last big thing I think could have been better was the character of Yue. I personally felt he was underdeveloped. In fact, in the book, a very large part of the plot was this internal paranoia within the Atreides house where they learn that there's a traitor among them. And they even start to suspect and turn against each other. It was one of the main sources of tension throughout much of the first act. It was what made Yue's eventual betrayal so much more impactful, and it was almost entirely left out of the film. If you haven't read the book, you don't know that Yue is literally conditioned to be loyal to the Atreides, which is represented by the diamond on his forehead. The Harkonnens figure out how to circumvent his conditioning, and that's why no one suspects him until it's too late. I definitely think there was time to include these details. The internal paranoia is slowly increasing. For example, it would have really helped build up to everything eventually collapsing. These are my main criticisms. I wanted to get them out of the way because they make it sound like I didn't like the movie when I very much did. The visuals, the cinematography, the music, the sound design, the acting in this film were nothing short of amazing. It really, really did feel like I was reading the book in movie format. The combinations of visuals and sound design were incredible, especially when it came to the voice. I really wanted them to make it feel impactful with its effect, and they delivered. Every time they used the voice, it felt like a shock to your system. It sounded so fucking cool. I loved it. And I appreciated that it sounded really unique as far as superpowers go, because the voice as a concept isn't that unique, but the effect they used was like something I've never heard before, and I really liked it. The music was beautiful too. I had a chance to check who the composer was, and of course it's none other than the man, the myth, the legend, Hans Zimmer himself, so I'm not at all surprised that the music was as high quality as it was. The visuals and the cinematography, obviously 10 out of 10. On the level of films such as Mad Max Fury Road, as I mentioned, in terms of the sheer scale of everything. They did a really good job at portraying this universe and the different cultures in a way that made it feel natural and lived in. I especially like the designs of the Harkonnens and the Sardaukar. They looked intimidating as all hell. The Baron was fucking disgusting, as it should be. The shields had a really cool effect too. The way they flashed blue when they were working properly and red when they weren't, I think was a great way to convey how they function visually. The spacecrafts and the ships look really unique for this universe too, which I like, because when most people think of sci-fi spaceships, they think Star Wars, Star Trek, and all their various copycats, but the ships in this movie had their own unique designs that really set them apart. I think my favorite was the Thopters and how they resemble dragonflies. The acting was great too, which you can expect from a cast as stacked as this one. The whole Atreides family was really well cast, I think. And going into this movie as blind as I did, I had a fun time seeing all those actors and finding out which characters they were playing one by one. But yeah, that's my initial review of Dune Part 1. I really enjoyed this movie. Obviously, I'm biased, but it's definitely going into my favorite movies of the 2020s list. Let me know what you thought of this movie in the comments. I will be reacting to Dune Part 2 this week as soon as it drops on streaming. If you want to see that, please consider subscribing to the channel. We'd love to have you. If you watched the whole video up until this point, drop a like. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next.